review on some Ulta products. Now, I've never tried out anything from Ulta. I'm kind of curious about their brand. Of course, I've bought a ton of makeup from Ulta, but I've never actually worn or bought anything from the Ulta brand. I think it was back in June. I'm not sure. Maybe the end of June. They were selling this. I'm going to put a picture of it up here because it's just easier than grabbing it and bringing it up. This is what it is. It is called the Ulta Be Beautiful Collection. It is $24.99. Supposedly has like 75 pieces, but they're counting all the individual little teeny eyeshadows. You know what I mean? The little teeny dinky ones. There were some products that were a total flop, and then there were some products in there that I really enjoyed. So let's just jump right into the video. I'm going to play with all this fun Ulta Beauty stuff, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to live in a pretend world. I'm going to pretend that my brows look bomb. So this is what the package looks like. I've got all these goodies in here. I like this little cute train case. I think it's pretty cute. I don't know that I'll use it, but I do like the whole marble in the rose gold. I love marble and I love rose gold, so it was kind of perfect. So it came with an eyeshadow palette. It came with 2 matte metallic liquid lipsticks. Okay, there's 2 of those. And then it came with shiny sheer lip glosses, 2 different colors. So it came with a tinted eye primer. Oops, I have already put concealer on my eyes, but let's see what this looks like. It's a tinted eye primer. It's in the shade Champagne. Ooh, that's pretty. It's oil-free. It doesn't really have a scent to it. I don't know that I like how shiny it is, how metallic it is. I kind of want to give the eyeshadows a chance, so I might use this in an upcoming video. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. It also has a poreless face primer. Now, I have already applied my foundation because I am actually testing out the Too Faced Do You foundation, which just went up on my channel yesterday. So if you guys want to see how I feel about this foundation, head over. I will stick it up here in the corner. Basically what I'm going to use is the eyeshadow palette, a blush, a bronzer, and the lippies. So I got 2 pencils. These are kind of a double-ended deal. So I got black on one, and then I got copper on the other, which is kind of cool. And then the lip pencil is 2 different colors, a nude pink and a berry, which is kind of fun to test out. And then it came with 3 brushes. So you have a blush brush, which I don't know that I'm feeling it. Kind of feels very, this feels very Claire's makeup-y to me. I'm going to play around with the brushes. I'm not mad at the brushes. They're just super teeny and they just don't look very practical. Let's go ahead and start with this bronzer. So I have the shade Matte Bronzer and Gold Illuminator. This is what it looks like. Okay. So the Gold Illuminator, I don't know that I will put that over the bronzer, but I might use it as a highlighter. We'll see. I'm going to go down into this shade right here, which just says it's a matte bronzer. You guys, it doesn't have a name on it, like what the shade name is. I don't know how I feel about this, you guys. Feels a little chalky. As I'm putting it on, it feels a tiny bit chalky. And that looks awful on my forehead, doesn't it? Ugh. I've used tons of bronzers from like the drugstore. I've used them from e.l.f. I've used them from Milani. I've used them from several different brands that are more affordable. And I think this one's a little bit on the chalky side. I don't know that I like that all that much. It feels a little chalky. It does. I'm gonna kind of dip into that like champagne shade and maybe tap back and forth. And I'm just gonna try to pop this right here and see if it does anything. The thing I don't want it to be is like one big like glitter bomb mess up on my face. That's not what I want. Ah! Okay, I don't like that shade. Okay, this is a pass for me. Total pass. This is not even worth $1 to me. It's a pass. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Morphe E4 and I'm gonna go into the blush. Now the blush has 2 different shades. So this one seems like it's more of like a darker berry shade, and then this one is like a light pink. Now I don't personally like any of these shades, so I'm just gonna go back and forth between the 2 and kind of mix them. I like more of a peachy blush, but I'm okay with this kind of a blush, and it's super pigmented. Holy magenta. Holy moly. Okay, it's pigmented. It's so pigmented that it's like chalky. It's pretty, but it's a little bit on the chalky side. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out with my sponge and just really try to tap it out. I don't feel like it blends into the skin. I kind of feel like it sits on top of the skin. However, I think the shade is really, really pretty. Even though I personally don't like those types of shades, I do think it looks really pretty on the face. I mean, I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but through the monitor and through the mirror, I think it looks pretty good. If you look up close, I mean, you kind of ignore the whole middle, that zit going on right here in the middle of my face. If you ignore that and don't even pay attention to it, because that's what I'm kind of doing, I think, you know, if you give it attention, it just becomes an attention seeker. But this, it's kind of got a little bit, and I'm not using this brush, and I'm really glad I didn't use this brush, and let me tell you why. When you have a blush that is super, super, super pigmented, the last thing you want to go in with is a brush like this. This is a teeny little brush, and when you have one that's pigmented, if you have a bigger brush, you can move the product around in a larger way. If you go in with a small brush like this in a super pigmented product, you're gonna get it right in one spot and it's gonna be hard to blend it out. So I'm really glad I didn't use this brush. I don't recommend this brush at all. I don't know if they sell this on, like, you know, in their brush collection, or maybe it was just an extra brush that they created for that little kit, but don't recommend it. I like the blush more than I do the bronzer. Okay, let's get into the eyeshadow palette. Now, it does have this little protector, tiny little plastic piece, which I'm not mad at, but the packaging is definitely very cheap. This is like this, like plastic, and it's like glued in there. It's just very flimsy, okay? This is a cheaper palette. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. I pretty much paid for the kit and got the makeup for free is how I'm seeing this. Because that train case is super duper cute. So I'm basically paying for train case and not the makeup. So I'm not going to be super mad at the packaging, because when you're trying to keep products cheap, I'm okay with the packaging being cheap. As long as the shadows blend out pretty decent and they're usable and they're not just total junk, then I'm fine with it. I get a little bit more aggravated with packaging when you pay $30, $40, $50 for something. When you get something that's like this and you know it's not that expensive, it's not that big of a deal. There's tons of colors in here and they're kind of fun, kind of pretty. So I think what I'm gonna do is I need to set down my concealer. So I'm gonna take my Morphe M504 and I'm gonna go into this bottom shade. It's like right here. And it's kind of like a cream matte shade. And I'm gonna dust this over top of my concealer just to give me a nice blank canvas, and I can start blending those shadows over top of it without it being, you know, sticky and tacky and weird. So I'm gonna take my Morphe E28 brush. I'm gonna go into the shade right here, which is like the second row and the second to the last. And I'm gonna pop that in my crease and just kind of build it. But it's just to see what kind of color payoff we can get with it. It's not a very pigmented shadow, and I might be here for a day and a half to build up this shadow, but like I said, this is pretty much a free palette, so you know, it's hard to be mad at it. So now that I've got that shade on, you can't see it, and it looks a little hot pink versus mauve. Okay, so there's that. All right, I am gonna go into this shade right here. I'm gonna go in with the brown shade and try to, oh my gosh, that is like the darkest shade in the palette and I can't get it to pop up. Okay, I'm gonna use a smaller brush. If you're having issues with a palette not being very pigmented, sometimes if you go in with a smaller brush, you might get better results. This is my Morphe M506 and try to build in sections, and it's very powdery, it's very dusty, but I think I'm gonna be able to make it work. Now it's turning purple. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that was fun. I'm gonna go back into that mauve shade and I'm gonna pop that over top of what we just did, because I've lost that mauve shade and it's kind of turned into like a lavender shade, which is a little bit frustrating. These are very powdery and very patchy to work with. I'm gonna go into this shimmer shade right above that dark shade that we used. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here. I'm just gonna see if I can build up that crease. These shadows are extremely powdery, and that is the reason why I'm tapping off, which is the problem, because when you tap off the product, then it's almost like that's when you lose the pigment. But I tap it off because they're so powdery and I don't want a bunch of fallout. You gotta kind of decide what's more important. You know, are you okay with fallout and you want the pigment, or do you want to build the pigment and not get the fallout? Like, that's pretty much what you have to choose from. I think that shade is really, really pretty. Okay, so I am getting fallout, which totally stinks, but it's okay, I can fix it. I've been blending this and working with this for 20 minutes. So 20 minutes later, this is the pigmentation that I have. This is the crease, and it's taken a lot of work to get it to this point. I do think it looks really pretty. So we have a lot of really pretty, like, light shimmer shades in this palette. Like, we have this light pink. You have one that's like really frosty white, and then you have this like frosty pink shade that's really, really pretty. And then you kind of have this peachy one, which you guys know I'm a super huge sucker for a peach. And then over here you kind of have a champagne-y one. And here's one that's got more of the brown, like taupey type shimmers. I'm going to take my felt tip applicator and I'm going to go down into this shade right here, which is the second over in the palette. And I'm just going to start kind of popping this on the crease. Now, here's the thing. If you guys have bought products from Ulta Beauty and you've gotten products that you really like, let me know in the comments down below, like, what products you suggest to buy from Ulta Beauty, because I am going to buy more and kind of explore the whole Ulta brand. But I just, you know, I thought this would be a nice little way to kind of start the process and get a few items, and then later on, you know, buy more. So let me know what you guys like. And this shade is absolutely beautiful. Like, it is going on really, really pretty. I do really appreciate how easy this shimmer shadow is going on. And I also am doing this dry. This is not wet. I didn't wet my brush down. This is just dry, and it actually looks really, really pretty. And so I'm kind of impressed with that. So let's see if we can go into one of these darker shimmers. So this is the one that I was using in my crease. So I'm going to take, on the other side of this felt tip applicator, I'm going to go ahead and go into that shade, and I'm going to pop this on my outer corner right here. Kind of like a coppery, rusty brown. It's really pretty. The shimmer shadows are awesome. I'm really liking this right now. So now I'm going to take my Morphe E36 brush, and I'm going to go into that shimmery shade that I've been using, and I am going to try to build up my crease with this just a little bit more. So for the lower lash line, I'm just going to go and follow the exact same steps using the exact same colors that I used up top. So for the lower lash line, I basically put on this shade right here. I went ahead and put this shade on right there, this shade, and then this shade right here. Okay, let's go ahead and try the eyeliners. So I have this coppery one, and then I have this black one. First try the copper. I mean, why not? Let's see if it's very pigmented. It's not really coming off over the shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the black. Let's see how pigmented the black is. I'm not really picky with my eyeliners, like my pencil eyeliners, but this one is a little bit, I don't know, there's something about it that I'm just not really a fan of. I threw on some lashes. These are these are the House of Lashes collaborated with Sephora. This is what the package looks like, and it says Seductress on the back. Let's jump into the lips. So I do have this lip liner. One side is called Berry, and the other side is called Nude Pink. So let's go ahead and try the Berry. It's pretty creamy, and I kind of like it for the moment. Okay, so we have 4 colors right here. 2 of them are matte metallic liquid lipsticks, and the other 2 are glosses. So I have this really rich, pretty shade called Sharp Edges, and I'm gonna put this one on first. It's actually really, really pretty. Obviously, I have thinner lips, and so I'm a little bit particular about my lippies, and this one I really like. It feels very comfortable, and it's super, super pigmented. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you guys right here on the back of my hand so that you guys can see. Okay, the next shade is called Sassy. Ooh, and it's like a coral peach shade. Yes! Oh, I hope it's pretty on the lips. I really, really do, because that is so cute. On camera, it's showing up more of a pink, but in real life, it's more of a peachy shade. So I'm gonna put that on my lips in a sec. The two glosses, one is called Bare, and then the other gloss is called Naked. So this is probably a nude type gloss. So this is Bare and this is Naked. So those are the four lippies that I am playing around with. It says it's a matte metallic lip, but you guys, it's not super matte. So if you're expecting it to be matte, it's not. This is more on the metallic side, but still has a sheen to it. It still has a satin type sheen. So if you're looking for these to be super matte, it's not gonna be. But I love, love, love this color, especially with the whole eye look. It kind of matches and it's kind of pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the nude pink and see what this looks like. Definitely a nude lippy. So let's go ahead and put on this metallic matte lippy in the shade Sassy. I like this shade, you guys. I think it's super pretty. Okay, so far the lippies are awesome. I'm obsessed so far. Like, I really, really like these lippies, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw the gloss on just so you guys can see. Let's go ahead and put the Naked on. I wanted to fill the glosses because I am kind of particular with my glosses. It's got a little bit of color to it. I don't mind this formula. It's not sticky and it's not gumping up on my lip, and it's not like feeling like, you know how sometimes your lips will kind of stick together and it kind of feels funky. I'm not getting that vibe. I like this. The lippies are a yes for me. I want to try this berry. Let's see what it looks like with the shade Sassy. That is so pretty, you guys. I love this. They do kind of get like, you get built up, you know, like right here in that crease of your lip, which will cause it to kind of bleed on your teeth. So I recommend just taking your pinky and kind of going in there and like, you know, doing this junk like this. That helps a lot. So let's go through the products really fast. So of course, like I said, I didn't get a chance to use the poreless primer or the tinted eye primer, and this is in the shade Champagne. I will try this. I don't know that I will try it any soon because it is like super, super shimmery, but I definitely will try this primer and let you guys know how this primer works. If you guys have used these two products, let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about them. Like I said earlier, the bronzer was a little bit too chalky, and it doesn't, what I need out of my bronzer, because I put my bronzer like on my forehead and down my neck and my jawline and my cheeks and my nose, like my bronzer really needs to blend and look beautiful on the skin. And because this bronzer is a little bit on the chalky side, it doesn't do that for me. It kind of just like, it's hard to kind of blend in, and like it goes on real direct and real like patchy in certain areas. So I don't really like these bronzers. I'm not a fan, but I did like the blush. I thought the blush is super pigmented, but like I said earlier, just make sure that whatever brush you're using, it is a bigger brush. Like, you cannot go in with a brush like this. It will just stick to one spot and you won't be able to blend it out. You'll want to use a bigger brush, something like this. This is the Morphe E4, just so that you can kind of press it in and really buff it. Instead of going into one direct area, it kind of goes on and then you can kind of blend it. If you just don't want to use a smaller brush. So it is a decent formula. It's not the best formula out there, don't get me wrong, but it's a decent formula. If you're on a budget, I would say the ones that I do like that are on a budget is the Milani. I love the Milani blushes. They are absolutely beautiful. That I would probably buy that over the Ulta. Now let's go into the eyeshadow palette. This is just a waste for me, you guys. I'm not impressed with the formula. I don't like the way they blend. It's a lot of work to try to get a pretty look. Of course, I was able to make it work, but I don't like to work that hard. And I have a lot of really affordable palettes. They do not have to work that hard to create a really pretty look with. And so when you have brands out there like BH Cosmetics, I'm loving their palettes. And I'm absolutely loving Makeup Revolution. I love their palettes. And I also really like ColourPop. Like, there's so many really good palettes out there. That's my opinion based on it. I do think that the look is pretty, but I don't think that I will probably ever reach for this, and I will probably donate it. Okay, let's talk about the brushes really fast. So when I busted into this eyeshadow palette, I knew right away that I was not going to be able to use these brushes because I knew it was a palette I needed to work at. And I was going to have to work with these shadows to kind of build up the shades and even make it look like I'm wearing any eyeshadow on my eye. So I knew that these were not going to cut it. I didn't even mess with it, you guys. Let's move on to lip liners. I think they're good. And if you find a shade that you like, I think you'll like the lip liner. But then again, I'm not really picky with my lip liners. I am, but I'm not. Like, these are okay. You know that I love the matte metallic lips based on me testing them out and putting them on. I really, really like these. These glosses are nice. The lippies, I think, were probably my favorite out of this entire collection that I tried. I'm going to look at more shades when I go to Ulta. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again for all of the love and the support. It truly means a lot to me, and I really hope you guys have a fantastic weekend filled with love, happiness, and joy. I will see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.